All right. Here's the deal. We're down at the base of the staircase. It's pouring rain, night as always, all right? But the electroplasmic lights that are on the street above cast a blazing blue-white light down the staircase and pools and illuminates and reflects back on the pooled water that is formed at the base of the staircase, all right? Beyond the staircase, it's basically darkness, but illuminated by electroplasmic street lights underground at regular intervals, but far intervals, so there's lots of shadows, all right? Now, as you go down the staircase, you look into the right against one of these tunnel walls, amongst a lot of other different stores, is the store you're looking for, all right? And it is deeply in shadow, just out, even more in shadow because it's very close to the bright light coming down from the staircase. And it is slightly illuminated by a paltry little flickering electroplasmic light that is out in front of it, all right?
That's like at the front door by the sign.
By the front door, just like, and every once in a while illuminates the Mylissa's Silks stand post that displays the sign. And you can see there are shadowy figures that are sort of roaming around. There's lots of people milling about, doing their shopping, walking their dogs, all sorts of just average, everyday opportunities. In the dark, of course, like it always is. But it's a relatively affluent neighborhood here, Song Street. Now, there are rafters and support structures that are crisscrossing the roof of this tunnel here. Lying upon one, straddled upon one, is one Rind, who has his long rifle loaded for bear and is sighting through it, just kind of looking. He's got his crosshairs on one woman, another man, dog, child. It's kind of moving, sighting along. And you can see who you really want to sight is these thugs that you can see that are milling about the shop, but trying to kind of not look like they're right in front of the shop. All right. Sure. Audric and Clinch, you guys are sort of just kind of looking at wares in nearby stalls and shops, always kind of close to the thugs. Kind of take advantage of the situation if you need to. Now, you can see, Rind, that you basically can't get out of the position you're in at this moment. Like, it's going to be too difficult to reposition. And the problem here is that when you fire upon any selected target, that it's going to be fairly obvious to any Lampblacks where the shot came from. All right. Okay. So that's sort of the thing here is that it's very possible that the citizenry are going to be it's just going to be chaos and they're not going to know what's going down. But the Lampblacks, as trained thugs, are going to be able to pinpoint the vector of that shot.
Gotcha.
And will probably react appropriately. Okay. That's reflecting the risky situation that you found yourself in.
All right.
Okay. So.
All right. Now I would think that Tubes and I would also be at least nominally aware of this same problem. It's not just Rind that knows it.
Yes, no, yeah, you're all aware of the problem.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So we can take steps to try and adapt to that.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Okay.
So the initial thing here is that you're going to fire upon. Yeah, like this, we're at the moment right now. We're going to. You've selected your target, and you're going to fire upon that person. All right. So just don't need to talk about it too much. But what are you? What kind of person are you going to fire upon?
I am going to sort of sight as best I can over the shoulder of one of these thugs. It's an intimidating looking man, right? Mm-hmm. And look for a teenage-ish boy, a younger person that reflects some sort of potential in the community.
Yeah. All right.
Some prep school jerk that I hate anyway.
Right. Yes. A kid who looks like he's going places.
A kid who looks like he's going places.
Well, guess what? He's going to the morgue. All right, so you're going to try to wing him, correct?
Our crew names can be called the Wigs from now on. But yeah, I'm going to try to wing him.
Okay, so you are in a. Okay, so what we have to determine here is you get to decide for everything that you do that involves a roll what action you want to take. Okay. And then I'll determine based on what action you're going to take whether or not you are in a desperate, risky, or controlled position. All right.
Okay.
So you can make your case. What exactly are you going to? What action are you going to take?
Aside from firing, sorry, I'm a little confused.
Actions are the list of verbs on the right side of
Verbs.
your
Okay.
Yes.
So I will. I mean, it would make sense that I would use the hunt action.
I think that's probably the most sensible one. Yeah.
Acquire the cleanest shot I can. So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so I would say that specifically for shooting a citizen who is completely unaware, and that you're above and you have good position, that you are actually controlled in this situation, as most snipers probably would be. All right, so you are in a controlled position. So when you hit hunt, okay, it's going to run you through a couple of questions.
Sure.
Okay, so it's going to ask you what your position is. Or does it ask you for bonus dice first?
Position, controlled.
Controlled. Okay, now don't. Okay, and what's the next thing that it asks you for?
Effect.
Okay, the effect.
Standard, limited, great.
You're attempting to just wound him, right? So I think the effect will be great. Actually.
Let's put it this way: I don't care if I kill him, but yeah, I'm not like aiming for his head. So
now so the effect will be great. Now here's the deal: is you can push yourself for an extra die. All right, if you spend 2 stress, you can give yourself more of a chance to succeed.
I could just imagine you up in the rafter and there's like sweat.
Yeah,
or one of your teammates can actually assist you if they can explain it well enough, and then they will give you the extra die, and they have to take 1 stress.
Well, I was going to say as well, I took focused as my skill, and with that, I can push myself in ranged combat and resist the consequence by expending a special armor point. So, and if I recall. That would deduct the consequence, wouldn't it? Of
if it applies, I mean, well, what's the special armor?
The special ability is to push yourself in ranged combat by expending a special armor, and then I'm trying.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
So you use special armor instead of stress.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yes. Is that correct, John?
I'm just looking it up here real quick.
Okay.
Rind. Focused. You expend your special armor to resist a consequence or surprise or mental harm, or to push yourself for range combat or tracking. Yes. Okay. So in this situation, you're not actually resisting. You would be checking off your special to actually push yourself. So instead of that's what you said. So instead of taking stress in this situation, you could expend your special armor.
Okay.
And it's over for the score. You wouldn't be able to use it again.
Cool. So special armor is kind of this.
It's an asset. It's a resource.
Yeah.
It's a resource that you some abilities let you.
Mm-hmm. So instead of spending 2 stress, you can do that, or you can have your friends assist you in some manner, and they take 1 stress.
I mean, you guys can speak for yourselves, but I imagine you're also trying to sort of. I'd rather just use mine for now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think how
we could realistically help you.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything to do. So I'd rather use that. My special armor instead of
point at the kid. Shoot that one.
Okay, so what you're going to do then is you're going to put in great for the effect, and then it's going to ask you for bonus dice.
Yeah.
And you're just going to put in the 1. Just put in 1. Okay.
1.
Yeah, because that's the.
Where are you putting this?
it prompts him when he hits the hunt.
It prompts me.
button.
When you click one of your
there
verbs,
we go.
it gives you a pop-up that lets you.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so there should be 3 die. Oh, nice. A 6.
Headshot.
First one of the game.
Guts everywhere.
No, that's the thing. It does without any consequences. It does exactly what he wanted to do. Okay.
I give him a very, very painful gut shot that won't kill him, but will make him especially loud.
Lots of blood, screaming.
Good thing we have a doctor to come to the rescue.
Now,
Audric,
I
I
was-
believe it's your moment to step in and take advantage of this before our opponents.
exactly. You run up, you start doing doctory things while I stand there and accuse this Lampblack that
Right,
shot
right.
over the shoulder.
Well,
I
it's
run up-
happening. Don't talk about it. So what's going on?
I run up to the lad who's like on the floor and he's bleeding, and I'm like, "Everybody, stand back! I'm a doctor. This boy's been shot." And I get as much attention towards us and away from like the Lampblacks for now.
Everyone's
Where I don't want people looking at the Lampblacks who are probably looking up. I want people looking at Aldrich,
Right.
who are like standing over the box.
And I want to make a sway roll to get all the blame attached to this Lampblack.
Okay, so what I'm hearing here, Tubes, is that you are attempting to kind of direct people in order.
I think that I'm helping him. Like, if his thing is going to be that he's going to try and convince people that the Lampblacks did it, I want to be sort of like there helping him with by
The bullet came
drawing
from his
attention and being like,
Okay.
"There's blood everywhere.
Okay, so
I'm
I
a
see that-
doctor."
I see that as a setup action. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me see if I can find it here. Where can I find this? Hold on.
This kid's bleeding out, John. We got to hurry.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm like seriously over dramatized. Like my hands are covered in his blood. I'm like,
You're scooping his guts
You've
out.
actually
Look at
prodded
the
him.
guts.
You've prodded him in the wound a couple times, just to really.
"What monster has done this?"
It was that monster there. That wretched man with that awful mustache.
Like,
Look
did
at
anyone see? And I'll look to you.
I saw it all. He pushed that young man and then shot him with a firearm.
I love the
How come I
accent.
cannot find this? It's annoying.
I shall write a letter to my congressman.
Sorry, guys. Just give me a second.
No worries.
Oh, isn't there someone here who would form a mob and attack this man? Oh, where is a mob when you need one?
We all know the types that have been around here recently.
Okay, so with the setup action,
Shame.
Yeah.
if your action has its intended result, any member of the team who follows through on your maneuver gets +1 effect level or improved position for their roll.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, you choose the benefit based on the nature of your setup action.
So we're saying that what David did is a setup action?
No.
What I'm doing is a setup action for you.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
I'm going there and visibly being an upset doctor, which will set you up to
Accuse.
yeah.
J'accuse.
Right. So you're basically saying like, stand back, everybody. Right.
Yeah, I think I want to do I have
I mean, I'm hearing command right now is what I'm hearing,
yeah. That's
but you can,
I'm garbage at that.
with zero dice doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you roll 2 dice and take the lower result.
Right. Okay, 1 second. Can I
So he has to
Yeah.
make. He has to make
Yeah.
Sorry.
I
go
guess
ahead.
yeah. I mean I don't have much else going on here, so
That's fine. It's no big deal.
yeah.
I
All right,
mean,
let's do it.
You want to do command?
I guess I want to do command. I was thinking maybe I could get away with using Tinker by like being a doctor, but that's much less visible. I think Tinker is inherently less visible.
Well, they're in a panic.
how are you at sway,
Yeah,
Chris?
they're in a panic. I have nothing under resolve, so yeah. Okay, let's do it. I'm
no
commanding.
resolve dots at all.
I have no resolve dots.
Okay, so
Quite a bloody hand.
Clinch,
All right.
I'm going to say that this is actually a desperate action because they're panicked and they are in no mood, like in a split second this occurs, to pay attention to anybody. They're just going to flee and fear, if at all possible. So
Right.
the good thing is that unlike Dungeon World and probably other Powered by the Apocalypse games, if you take a desperate action, regardless of if you succeed or fail, you automatically get
That
one
XP.
Yes.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
So you get to mark that blade on your sheet there under command, which I believe is resolve.
Yeah, so I get 1 resolve point.
Yes, you do. So
Sweet.
It's pretty sweet. So
1 resolve
regardless
XP.
of it, yeah, you get 1 XP.
Cool.
So it's going to be desperate.
Desperate.
I think it's going to be limited effect.
So desperate and then effect limited.
Yeah.
Great.
Now you can push yourself.
I can push myself. So pushing myself when I have no dots in something.
Will give you a die, which increases mathematically your chances of succeeding.
Oh, so then I'll just
hugely.
roll 1 die instead of rolling 2 and taking the lowest.
That's correct. Yeah. Now you can also choose, instead of taking the die, to actually increase your effect level by 1. So you could still roll you could roll 2 dice and take the lowest and get a standard effect.
Well, right now I'm just trying to roll to increase Ted's potential effect.
That's right. Yep.
So I don't want to. I'd rather spend it on like getting the dice to just do that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have 1 bonus die. So I'm gonna roll 1 die. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, the humanity! Stand back! I'm a doctor.
Oh! Nice one. The 1 die. That's unbelievable. Nice work.
Oh man! Now watch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna botch this roll. Here we go.
Okay. So, yeah. So you're basically saying like stand back. What exactly do you say, Clinch? It works.
Okay. I say, stand back! Everybody, stop what you're doing! A crime is committed here. I'm a doctor. Stand back!
All right, and you see.
And then I'm like, did anyone see what happened? And I turn to Aldrich.
You see people who were
my bloody fingers at him.
People who are initially are like, oh, and they're holding their faces, and they look over at you, and you see them like, what the hell is going on? And then they're waiting for their attention to be directed by Clinch to
Aldrich.
It was that man.
Did anyone
He
see
shot that boy.
So you point to the
Lampblack. He and all his ruffian friends.
Okay, Ryan, up in the rafters, you're looking, you can see, like, this is all happening within split seconds, and you can see, like, the Lampblacks have all stopped and are looking in horror and fear as well, but instead of panic, their first reaction is, where the fuck did that come from? And as you know, slow motion, as we're watching the TV show, it's like all of their eyes, like everybody else's eyes is like pointed on Clinch and Audric and the body, and all of their eyes are slowly rotating up to the rafters. Okay. All right. So Audric.
Right. So I'm attempting to sway everyone to put their blame upon this foolish, hapless Lampblack, and B, gang up and beat him senseless, and all of his friends too. But I don't know if that can all be 1 roll or if that's 2 things I'm trying to do. But
well, your intended result is to convince the people who are immediately around you that a certain Lampblack just did this. Right. Just to convince them. Like, you're not going to be able to make them. If you want to make them attack the Lampblack, that sounds more like command to me. But to convince them that he did it, and then
that's the first step, I think. Right, guys? Don't you think? I think so. Sway them. He is the guilty party. The Lampblacks are ruffians and hoodlums, and
we'll see what they
need
do.
a sound thrashing.
Okay, so
so I hit the sway button, and I get this.
Well, let me hold on. I'm thinking that it's going to be. I think. Well, okay. Well, first of all, we have to determine. Chris, you succeeded.
I succeeded, so I can increase his effect or position,
or his position, and it's up to you.
Okay, so do we know what those are yet?
Well, yeah, that's what I should tell you, right? Yeah. So, I think his position is probably risky. And the effect would be standard. So risky standard, the default.
Do I want to bump that? I think I want to bump that up to a great effect.
Great effect?
To really turn, so that would like really fully convince these people and turn them against the Lampblacks on a success, right?
Okay.
That's the idea.
Yeah, I think
I want. Yeah, I want.
given that they're
great
immediately
effect out of this.
they're immediately going to try and pin this on Rind. The more we get people to believe it was them,
Yeah. So let's bump
the
up the
better.
effect.
Okay, so it remains risky position, John.
Okay, so it would be risky position. Great effect thanks to Clinch's calling out. And now you can choose to push yourself here. You can push yourself to even further effect. So it's beyond great. Sort of like a critical success. Or you can give yourself a die. Either way, it will cost you 2 dice. Or
Can I help him for 1 stress to give him another die?
yes, you can assist him. So can Rind. But only, he only gets 1 die. So
Right. Oh, you can only get 1 from help or pushing it. You can't push yourself and
that's
get
right.
help.
You can't do both. And two PCs can't double up and give
Oh, okay.
help twice. You know what I mean? So
You
it's only
already took-
one die, period.
You already took some stress, right, Chris?
I have one stress, but
took
if you push yourself, you take 2 stress. So either way,
Right, but
we would have net 2 stress.
I don't know
Right.
how I can help you without busting the scheme. So
yeah, I feel like this is the critical bit. So, and I want to learn the rules and play
All right.
around here. I'm going to
Cool,
take
yeah.
the 2 stress for the bonus die.
Awesome.
Okay, I love it.
So I add 1 bonus die here in the input value, and then I pop 2 stress onto my character sheet, right?
That's right.
Yep. It's right above harm there under your
Boop.
name and stuff.
2 little red blades.
Mhm.
Okay. Over here, I submit.
Roll them. Look at the dice rolls today, man. I don't know. It's gonna be heartbreaking when you guys actually fail at something. This is the downside of this whole thing.
Look at these swine shooting poor young men here in the streets of Night Market.
And what do you point imperiously at one Lampblack?
I point my cane at him and waggle it about. That was the one.
All right. So there is a Lampblack thug. He's got suspenders on, and he's got his sleeves rolled up, exposing big forearm tattoos, no neck, just like a shock of dirty hair, and he's in the process, like all the other ones, of like slowly looking up at Ryan, and then he sees out of the corner of his vision that you're pointing at him. He's like, "What the?" And he's like, "No,
Doesn't even have a cravat. Get him!"
all of the people, everyone within hearing distance. I mean, it's like basically the whole street. They all like turn right towards him, and they're like, "He did it! He shot that poor young boy
I join in. He shot that boy.
in cold blood."
He shot this boy.
And you see people start shouting, "Blue coats! Where are the blue coats? Forget the blue coats! They're not coming! Get them!" And it's just like a full-on mob just organizes within the span of like 5 seconds, as like this, like the whole citizenry just leap at this guy. Yeah.
Clinch in this moment, like as they rush past him, sort of like he's carrying on, like, "Oh, they shot this boy." As soon as they're past him, he like stops, wipes his hands off on the boy's like shirt, and then goes to like sneak into the shop.
Awesome. All
he's
right.
bleeding to death.
All right, yeah. So
that's lovely.
no one is looking at the boy now,
Sure.
who is just screaming piteously, going pale from loss of blood, as a pool is slowly spreading out from maybe his thigh, Ryan, wherever you wanted to hit him is where you hit him, or maybe his side.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of crying piteously as Clinch basically just drops him. He's like, "All right, tough luck, kid."
Can I with the distraction of this happening, take an opportunity with my finesse to try to slink back or get out of the exposed position I'm in?
You certainly can. Let me just take a look at the list.
Hopefully with all of the commotion a little less obvious.
Yeah, once the scrum sort of passes, you can just drop down. No one's watching, right?
So, for that kind, finesse is more about. It's not quite what you're looking for there. Like prowl is more.
Oh, sure, prowl.
Stealthy stuff.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, give me a visual. I mean, these rafters, how much higher am I than the stores and the various?
You're about 20 feet up.
Whoa.
Okay. So, like, for instance, if I were trying to jump to another roof, that would be finesse. But if I'm trying to sneak away from my position, that would be prowl.
I'm thinking, yeah, unless you could make a better case for it. Yeah.
No, I think that makes sense.
I'm imagining you just want to do some acrobatics and get down, though, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get down as quickly as possible. So I may actually just, now that there's a lot of commotion going on, just look for the closest sort of like jumping point in the direction of their shop.
Okay.
Try to finesse sort of a jump and roll out of it.
Yeah. Okay. That's not a problem. Now, are you
realizing that the guys might see me?
Right. So basically, it's chaos now, right? Everyone is leaping upon this one Lampblack. Sure. He's basically going to die.
Yeah.
And there's people milling all around now that are shouting and yelling that are right in front of the store. All the Lampblacks have now turned towards you and have seen you, basically. All right. So because you've chosen to not slink away, that you're actually just going to try to, smoothly jump down and get to the store as quickly as possible.
Sure.
They immediately like point. A couple of them point their fingers at you and they start yelling, but their voices are drowned out by the chaos and the screams of the crowd, and it's particularly the young boy that you shot, the young teenage boy that you shot. And,
young, innocent teenage boy that you shot.
Yes. Audric and Clinch, you can see that the thugs' attention has shifted to Rind, and they are definitely giving up on even attempting to sway the crowd back to their side, like to protest their innocence. They're all about get that fucker out of the rafters is basically what's going on. So, yes, so they are about to bring their weapons to bear, and right now, that to get you out of the rafters, it's basically going to be hurling daggers and stones at you, Rind.
Gotcha.
So, yes, you can make that jump. It's going to be finesse. Sounds good to me. It's going to be a desperate position.
A 1 in a million chance, David, but it just might work.
Yeah. Now, what your intended result is to get as close as you possibly can to the store, right?
Yeah.
With the least amount of movement.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't want to jump right into the open
front window.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to jump onto a rooftop or something like that. So still relatively.
If I may, David,
sure.
Hold on a second, John. This the way the gameplay is set up and the way this is all structured, would this be an opportunity for him to say something along the lines of like, well, as it happens, because the tunnels are 20 feet high, actually the shop has 2 stories, and there's like a ventilation window. That I could just.
Valaris told me or something like that.
He can kind of make stuff up like that.
That is a perfect example of
Interesting. Yes. Okay. Well, do we want to use an opportunity because we have 1 dice for that, right?
Oh, the pre-game intel, you mean?
Yeah, we got intel in the whole area. Do we want to reserve that?
No. That was part of the die roll for the engagement roll. That already was. But you can use, your contacts and other stuff as flashbacks. Give me 1 second here, and I'll find the.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Let me find the flashback.
So this is essentially like, what game was it? Was it Fate or something where we would just sort of make up stuff? What game was it we played?
Sounds like
I know we're all making up stuff. No, there was some game we tried it and
Mage.
Okay. So here's
might have been that.
So David, if you're thinking about using a flashback, all right, it doesn't cost you any stress if it's an ordinary action for which you had an easy opportunity. 1 stress if it's a complex action or unlikely opportunity, and 2 or more stress if it's an elaborate action that involves special opportunities or contingencies.
Sure.
All right. So what are we trying to do here? Is that are we trying to say that there was some sort of entryway on the top of the building?
Yeah, I'm trying to say that I spoke to Valaris and got a sense of some sort of entryway on the 2nd story that was more easily accessible, or a duct or some sort of, catwalk, etc. A way for me to get there more easily.
Well, what do you? It's up to you. What do you want there to be?
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
How about like one of those Dutch houses, where there's like the crane and the window at the second floor?
I come through the chimney. No,
we're underground. The chimney must go above ground.
Yeah, there's some sort of yeah. So I would say that I have asked as a favor from Valeris if he could arrange having a window left unlocked on the second story of one of these homes.
You don't want to.
This is Valeris the spy, right? Your contact. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a she.
She. Sorry.
Yeah, she's into you. Don't forget.
Oh,
she's Severosi too. She's a very cool character. I kind of had a lot of fun writing her up.
All right.
You have to appreciate these things, man.
Yeah.
Okay. That she managed to get it. Yeah. Okay. So.
She's just using you, man.
I think that is a complex action with an unlikely opportunity because there's Lampblacks that kind of patrol this thing. She would have to do it very discreetly. It'd have to be sort of like her own score sort of thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it can be done. It's not a problem. It's going to cost you a stress. That's all.
Are you trying to get into the silk shop or just some random shop on the street?
I was originally just trying to get out of Dodge, but because we're investigating the flashback mechanic, I might as well try to flex that to get into the silk shop, right? To expedite the process of actually going there. So, makes sense, doesn't it?
You asking me? Whatever you want.
I think what you're saying is, if Valeris is leaving a window open in the silk shop, he's saying that that's a complicated situation for her.
Yeah.
Would it, John, be complicated for her to leave some other random window open for him to get? That's how he got on the rafters in the first place. Like, this is his escape route. Is that? I would have had more or less complicated. I'm just kind of sort of exploring the mechanic.
Like wouldn't the less complicated thing be that like back before, like on your way up here, you opened a window or something?
You left it open behind.
Yeah, that's very true.
On the actual store itself.
This is the flashback, is that the way he got onto the rafter in the first place is now how he's going to get off, and it's an open window to a different apartment or store or whatever.
Oh yeah, as long as it's different, that's definitely a no stress one. That's easy.
Right.
Okay, let's just do that. Yeah.
So you still have to get to the silk merchants, but I'm just sort of trying to figure out how
that at least gets me out of the rafters. That was my original objective. Yeah.
Get out of the rafters.
Yeah. So the flashback mechanic is like
very simple in this case. Yeah. That's how I got up there.
And we have a clock.
Yes, I'm trying to.
Or do you? Yeah. Do you want to just go straight for the mother lode?
No, I want to do that.
Do you want to just get out of the rafters?
No, I want to do the flashback and have sort of a route that I've.
That's what I'm talking about.
Stuff. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Simpler version.
Right. Okay.
All right. So I am setting up a clock.
How many ticks does it have? Ooh, look at that.
Nice.
So,
where is it?
It's on the map screen.
Nice. Okay.
This wasn't quite how I wanted it to work. I was supposed to be able to label that like a normal token, but whatever. Group it here. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I was doing two things at once. That's why I was only half paying attention to you guys. I'm sorry. It's my first clock. Okay, so for the progress clocks here, this is a countdown basically. All right, for when this particular thing occurs. So this is an obstacle basically that you might have to address. Depends on how you want to deal with it, but you get to see it. All right. The clock is a 4-tick clock. It is the crowd disperses. In other words, the distraction that you guys have set up goes away.
Sure.
All right. 1 tick is now done. Okay. So you'll just want to keep an eye on that as we go along. All right. So back to the action here, Ryan. So you did a flashback where before. Just correct me if I'm wrong here. Where you went to a nearby apartment and arranged a rail of some sort, right? That you can alight upon, which is also your means of getting up onto the rafters itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that window is open, so you're going to swing gracefully onto that rail and into the apartment, which we will say is very near the shop itself, right?
Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Great.
So, yes, that does not cost you any stress. So, it is so. So back to the action here. You are in a desperate situation as the thugs are about to start hurling missiles at you and trying to knock you to get you down one way or the other. And you're going to try to slip into that window before they can hit you. So desperate. It's going to be a standard effect. Would have been limited without your flashback, which is good. And now you can decide whether or not you want to push yourself or get assistance. Remember that you can push yourself for greater effect or for an extra die.
I'm not going to push myself. I'm just going to go give it a go.
How many dots do you have in finesse, David?
1.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to just give it a try.
So you
Okay.
right now, without pushing yourself, it'd just be 1 die.
There's no
for
bonus
standard
die,
effect.
right?
Right? Is that where we're at?
You have to tell me if there's a bonus die. That's what I'm asking if you push yourself.
Right.
No, I'm not going to push myself for any bonus die.
Okay, so don't forget to mark an XP for your desperate action.
All right.
My God. What is going on?
I think roll 20's broke, man.
Oh, man.
All right.
That was beautiful.
Cool.
All right.
All right, everything is going just perfectly according to plan.
I am the knight. Real
So-
peachy.
It's all going to shit on us soon.
All right, so yeah, you basically the thugs are basically unlimbering all their weapons as they're like, "That motherfucker up there, get him!" And you
Vanish.
you vanish and you just kind of slip. Well, how do you do it? What do you end up doing? It goes exactly according to your plan, right?
Oh, yeah,
So what
of
happens?
course.
It's not a great effect. It's not like you get an excellent
No, I
you know,
understand.
advantage, but what you wanted to happen happens.
Yeah, I just spring over to the ledge, sort of like rabbit it after grasping the side into the window pretty easily.
Sort of a little parkour action there.
Yeah, like parkour, basically. Yeah.
Slip
Nice.
right in.
Nice.
All right. And you see them like, did you see that? Did you see what he just did? And they all start running for the apartment, the store next to the silk merchant, leaving the front door to the silk merchant blissfully open for Clinch, who I believe is running straight for it.
That's right.
Right. Okay. So Clinch, as you are approaching, you can see that there is what appears to be an elderly woman's face that is peering fearfully from behind a curtain in the front of the shop. Her face is completely powdered white with garish makeup. It's one of those situations where she thinks that she looks fantastic, but it just makes her all the more hideous as this sort of pinched face is sort of like looking out with wide eyes, like what's going on? And then she kind of sees you approaching, and this curtain shuts quickly.
As I'm approaching, I pull a little rag out of my pocket. Mm-hmm. I am going to check off my vial of silence potion.
Ooh.
Get the rag nice and wet,
and
and open the door, and I guess finesse it onto her face.
All right.
And just say, "Quiet, darling."
All right, so a silence potion on 226 there, Chris.
Oh, there's legit rules for it, and not just it makes people silent.
There actually is. Well,
Okay.
it'll do what you want to do. It creates an area of utter silence around the shattered vial.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So I don't even have to finesse it onto her face.
it's sort of like a silence spell, but you have to break the vial in order to make it so. Although I could see something, it's up to you as well, because the arcane stuff is very kind of loosey-goosey in this game. Like where maybe you uncork it and you drizzle out the silence, you know what I mean? Like, as it pools, it creates, that sort of thing.
That's pretty cool.
You know?
it's a potion.
It's I have a vial of silence potion as one of my things that I can just whip out.
This is the kind of shit that you would want to be dealing with in. This is the kind of thing I could see you having. You would be able to do it in bulk. Also, so you're going to mark that, right, Chris? David,
Yes.
going back to yours, you're
So
definitely.
I mark
gonna
that, but it's italic, so it doesn't count against my load.
Ooh. Sweet.
I just have that all the time.
That's awesome. David, you want to mark your long rifle because you use that as part of your load.
Marked, and I did a desperate action there, right? Even though I succeeded, I still mark it.
Yep. You just took it, so you automatically get the XP.
Awesome.
You can see now where it's to your advantage to actually place yourself in desperate positions deliberately.
Yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
Now, right now, you guys have been killing it with the dice rolls, but I mean, it's not very pleasant when you fail a desperate action. But, anyways, back to clinch.
Okay, so I am going. Walking. I'm just going to stroll into the door, and like throw the vial on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this old woman there.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the door bursts open, and you see a typical storefront that is like draped silks of multiple, lots of colors, and looks very legitimate. Looks very, very nice actually. Has a pleasant smell of jasmine in there.
Okay.
Nice soft electroplasmic light, and she is just sort of it's basically sort of overweight, dowdy. Middle-aged woman who has got the painted face, and her clothes are a little bit disheveled, and she looks terrified, and she has backed herself up against the counter space, and it's just like...
Okay. So I essentially want to make sure that she's like frozen with fear for a while.
Yeah.
I want to like take her out essentially.
Yeah.
But I'm going to come in and I break the vial, and I'm looking at her like...
All right.
And then I just start breaking stuff in the shop.
Yeah.
Like throwing, I grab a table and like smash it, and just like, I'm like. So I'm gonna essentially like wreck the whole front of the shop as quickly as possible. To like just make her cower as much as possible, like without physically hurting her. I want her to like.
Yeah. Okay, got
shrink away from me.
All right, yeah, so you slam the glass down. The silence bursts out in a negative way. And she, you're yelling, there's no sound at all. And you can see her mouth starts to open, and she's obviously screaming. But let's see if she can actually, if she's paralyzed with fear or not with a roll. So what are you going to use?
So I'm using a wreck.
Wreck. Awesome. Okay, I think this is a controlled position.
Because of my silence potion?
Yeah. And cool. That she is, and she was already terrified before you even use the silence potion. And it will have great effect.
Cool. Let's just roll this as is.
Alrighty.
No bonus dice.
Oh, wow, no problem. Okay, continuing with the sixes. All right. So, so it has great effect. So you are now basically in a better position than what you initially anticipated.
Great. I sort of like, as soon as she's kind of like, in the fetal position in the corner completely, I like start like trying to stroll to the back of the shop and like look around for where they might be keeping the junk.
She drops to the floor, and as you can see that she's just holding her head in her hands as she's just screaming nonstop in utter silence, and she kind of curls into the corner where the counter meets the wall and is basically out of it. Like can't do anything as there's complete silence. And you make your way over the counter into the back room. There is a curtain back there, and you see before you enter that there is a... you can't hear it because you're still in the silence zone, but you see that there is flickering white and blue electroplasmic light that is bursting, that is kind of illuminating the edges of this curtain back there.
Nice.
Okay. Meanwhile, Ryan, you are in the second story of this apartment nearby, and Audric, let's... now, you can kind of see there's no sort of turn order here, so it's just sort of the natural... flow of the fiction. So you guys let me know sort of what you're doing here.
Okay, so I saw them going for the door of the building I'm in, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would it be reasonable to say that an unusual weapon would include, what are they called? Little spiked...
Caltrops?
Caltrops, yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm on the second floor, right? Can I just sort of cascade caltrops all over the stairs?
The grand staircase leading up to the surface streets?
No, to where I'm in the building, right?
Yeah.
I'm inside. They're coming to the front door, presumably?
Yeah.
fall
You're on
after
the
me.
second floor.
I'm on the second floor, and I
Oh.
want to caltrip the stairs coming up to me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
And like, if there's any source of lighting, knock it out, obviously, so they can't see.
Yeah,
And then just sort of slink into the darkness, awaiting them.
Before you do that, because the action that I wanted to do next actually would not prevent that, but is relevant to that.
Sure.
Which is, I have been sort of directing the crowd in a sense and whacking ruffians, and as they're all running towards where Rind is, I would like to continue to exhort the crowd to sort of try and hinder their approach to Rind, and maybe like trip one of them, or even engage in some kind of melee with one to continue to sway the crowd a bit. So maybe fewer of them get to Rind, or I distract them entirely. But I don't know how you want to play it out.
That's up to you. What exactly do you want to do?
Well, I meant in terms of who goes first here.
So you want to attack the Lampblacks to egg on the crowd? Is what you're saying?
Essentially,
Okay.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, like if one of them runs past me and I trip him with my cane sword and continue shouting at the crowd, and the idea being, I don't know what Rind is up to in there. I just don't want them to go busting in 20 guys to beat the crap out of him. So whatever I can do to keep them out here with the crowd is to his advantage.
Okay. So are you going to actually attack a thug?
I was thinking tripping one. Rather than skirmishing, just to sort of slip in with my cane and trip one, and hopefully knock the whole pile down like a bunch of Keystone Cops or something.
All right, so I can, I can see finesse in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
I could also see if maybe it's more about like maybe making it look like the thug jumped you, so that you're trying to prove to the crowd
He's on top of me,
that they're super aggressive and that they're trying to take out everybody. That could be another thing like sway or something like that. You know what I mean?
I got it. Deliberately put myself in their way as they're running towards the door, right? And then as I'm fighting them off, I'm shouting things like, "I am but a respectable gentleman. Why are you beating me? Stop it with your assault of me.
Okay.
I'm just a poor actor." I'll try and sway the crowd some more.
Okay.
Try and keep these guys.
All right, so let's do yours first then. So,
right.
So David, you can actually, while this is happening, because it doesn't take an actual roll, you could just set the caltrips. You're like, oh, forgot about these, and you're like, down the staircase they go.
Tying a can of paint to a rope on a pulley.
The blow
Matchbox cars.
Totally. Okay.
Actually, ideally, if they do get in there and they all puncture themselves on the stairs, then you just go out the second story again and you come down while they're all bleeding on the stairs. But in any case, I wanted to slow them down to get to you.
Okay.
I don't really have any purpose at this point. He's stealing. Sorry, I'm pointing at my screen. Chris is trying to steal the anchors. Yeah. So I got to try and slow these guys down so you can get away, is what I'm seeing my role as.
Okay. So I'm hearing sway. I think it's, I
feel like it's a little desperate, honestly, to try and stop a gang.
You're not trying to stop the gang. You're trying to get the crowd to stop the gang, right?
Well, I'm physically putting myself in the way to let them beat me a little bit.
Okay. So you're going to provide some resistance, is what I'm asking. Like you're not going to just let them roll over you, because they'll just push you out of the way.
I intend to hit back with my cane, but the main whole purpose of this is that I'm trying to set up a deception that I am a poor hapless gentleman walking out and shopping and being attacked by ruffians.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So desperate. Let's go desperate, and we'll say it will have. What kind of effect would that have on these guys?
Probably none.
Yeah.
The crowd might respond. I don't know. I intend to shout loudly as I go down under their pummeling fists.
Well, the intent is to get the crowd to
come to my aid and stop these guys from going after Rind.
Right. Okay. So I'll say I'll say standard effect.
Okay.
Standard effect. Oh, and there's we should also be considering this with every roll as well. I forgot this. It's kind of neat little mechanic. It's called the Devil's Bargain.
Right.
So it's not only something that I can offer you. It's something that your fellow players can also offer you, or you can offer one as well, and then we can all agree that to take it or not. So basically, it's
I could say, John, I'll take a level of injury to make sure this works.
Yeah, and not to ensure that it works, but that you would get a bonus die.
A bonus die.
Yeah, so instead of pushing yourself for stress, you would take a Devil's Bargain. So if anyone has, you can always do that. Anyone can just float that, and then we can all just kind of agree to make it a thing or not, But regardless of whether or not you succeed or fail, the Devil's Bargain goes into effect. Always.
Right. I was just gonna let it go. I have 2 dice in sway, and I'm just gonna try it out. Well, I don't feel like I need to make a Devil's Bargain quite yet.
Well, I'll offer one for.
Okay.
And I'll
I'm
make
listening.
it similar to what you were just said. That you'll get a bonus die to it if you actually take a few punches, and you'll take level 1 harm, and it will be cracked rib. Get a bonus die.
Cracked rib.
Mm-hmm.
So, how
Do it.
fresh my fine. I'll take your Devil's Bargain.
Yeah.
Because I want to see how it works.
Because then we'll get to play with the healing mechanics later.
Exactly.
There you go. That's right. Prince can do his thing.
I call it a form of
And
science.
you have a physician on board, a physiker.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you'll probably just feed me some kind of snake oil and
Call
pocket
it
the
Nate.
money. All right, so I take a bonus die.
I've been using silence potion to hide my farts for years.
Awesome. All right. So, you get a bonus die. You're taking the Devil's Bargain. All right. So, let's roll them bones. Sway. Jesus, mother. And it was the 3rd die, too. It was the Devil's Bargain.
We're invincible.
Nice. Okay.
So, not the face, not the face. Laying about me with my stick and screaming for assistance, the crowd rallies to my noble cries.
Okay. Yeah. So, you are basically like the thugs. The thugs basically are like, they run into you. One actually grabs you by the throat and kind of pulls your front half basically forward onto his knee, and the knee goes. You could just hear like the slow mo as it crunches into your side, crack, and you're like, don't know if it was worth it as you go straight down to the ground.
I hate you, Rind. I hate you so much.
as they run over, and that guy is immediately not immediately, but he can't get up the stairs because the crowd basically is grabbing him as he's need you. You are basically propped up and dragged away by the crowd out of harm's way as they try to
Out of harm's way towards the entrance to the silk shop.
Sure.
Yeah.
And as the rest of the thugs go pounding up the stairs, there are 3 of them that manage to get in.
Okay.
All right. So,
so limited effect.
Adric,
I have some ideas.
You're basically pushed to the side, and you're basically pushed to the side and moved towards the building. So now it's in the clear. There is a mob of people that are going to attempt to follow the thugs up the stairs, thanks to your action. And but meanwhile, 3 thugs have gotten in and are moving up.
Up the stairs?
Yes.
Where you already put the caltrops down, right?
I put them down already.
You already put them down.
I have another question, John.
Yes.
Would a lantern include any mechanism for lighting things on fire? It describes various types of lighting sources, like oil and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Reasonably, I would have to have. Okay. Second, is this building wood?
We're underground, right?
Most of
Is it stone?
I'll be
That's what
honest
I'm
with you.
wondering.
Most of the dwellings underneath the ground here are stone,
Stone,
but there would be
okay.
wood elements. I mean, there'd be wood furniture and stuff like that.
While he's
Clothing and
thinking,
sheets
John, where do I
bedding.
write down this harm that I took?
On the left-hand side, there's 3 blanks there, so you would just write
Does it matter which slot I put it in?
in the one that
You
says
put it in the one. Just wrote cracked ribs. Is that all I
Yeah,
do?
on the left-hand side, yeah. And you can see that that gives you less effect. So anything where cracked ribs would be a hindrance to you, it is going to reduce your effect level.
Right, running or somersaults or something.
You know, a lot of things actually.
What?
It's a cracked rib.
Love making.
Yeah.
So I'm stone building irrelevant. So to what I was going to do. So instead of that, I'm going to basically catch a corner if I can, sort of looking at the stairwell through the dark, anticipating them, very quietly anticipating them walking up the stairs and watching them as they do.
Okay, they're storming the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're just going to watch what happens, basically?
I'm sitting there with my rifle sort of aimed at them, waiting for them to reach the caltrops, yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, no problem. All right, so they basically storm up the stairs. It's dark on the stairs, and they plow into it, and there's no real, like, the first guy gets caught in it, so the other two hold up. Like, they're just kind of coming full steam up, so they all just hit the caltrops all at once. Screams of pain, like girly screams coming out of these guys as they basically hurl themselves, like, two of them hurl themselves against the wall as they're coming up the stairs. One guy actually, it hurts him so bad that he hits the banister on the other side and cracks the banister, and basically... He's sort of doing like the as he's about to fall over the banister side. It won't hurt him that much, but he's about to go over. If that means if you want to take advantage of that or something,
I want to shoot him in the face.
And they're okay, and they
are more shots coming from people that aren't that. Sorry,
that's okay. They're not looking good at all. They're screaming in pain and they are completely halted on the steps right now as they try to get their bearings as they weren't expecting it. They're like trying to regain their balance. A couple of them are like
okay. Well, actually, here's another idea. You said there's a bunch of furniture in here, right? Mm-hmm. Is there any within my reach that I can throw down the stairs at them?
Yeah,
or like
there's vases and
okay, but like larger, like a chair or like a chest. Or something like it's
sure. There's a chair. Yeah.
Okay, let me do that.
There's like a big marble bust of like a famous composer sitting on top of a piano up there.
Right there. Oh, let's take it. Let's take that bust.
Okay.
Possibly. And I will shriek in the most senile voice I can. Hey, get out of my house! They're attacking me up here! Take this!
Take this! As I expertly wing this bust right at your head.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna wing a bust at the guy who's sort of like doing one of these numbers to push him over.
Give him a little nudge over the edge.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so what action are we taking there for that?
That would be, I mean, that could be a finesse as well, I suppose. Sort of throw it at him.
Well, it's usually...
although that would be, yeah. Let me think. Hold on. So, reasonably speaking, wreck would probably be it. Because I'm wrecking the place and I'm wrecking them. I'm sort of blustering through this. I don't have any points in it, but...
Well, let's see. I'm thinking. Okay, so just so you're aware, David, too.
Sure.
The action descriptions, finesse is actually on page 173.
Let me look real quick.
Right below that, a hunt. Okay. You carefully track a target. You might arrange an ambush. You might attack with precision shooting from a distance. You could try to bring your guns to bear in a melee, but skirmishing might be better. So if we're kind of equating like ranged sort of with hunt,
sure.
I would actually think that this might actually, you could make a case for this being skirmish because, you're up kind of close. You kind of have to, you're adjusting on the fly. Okay. You know what I mean? Like it's not, you don't have the time to actually like, you like if you had used your gun here where you had it ready to go on these guys, initially, that probably would have been hunt.
Okay,
but you're switching tactics here. Stairs. You're like, you know what? Screw the rifle, and you kind of set it to the side, and you're grabbing a bust, right?
Yeah,
quickly. So I could see something like if you're
skirmish.
Yeah, you could be skirmish. I'm thinking for like a precision aim, like you're really gonna knock this guy. If you just want to wing shit at people, I could see more wreck.
I'm mostly winging shit, I would say. I'm not trying to do much other than sort of like stagger them and get the crowd's attention, who you said was following them, right?
I think wreck is perfect then. So with that, okay, I'm saying that's going to be risky. Okay. I'm going to say it has limited effect.
Cool. And I'm going to sort of the combination of me throwing this is me yelling for help from everyone downstairs, right? So
yes.
So go ahead.
I'm sorry. Let me bump that up to standard because he's off balance and is in pain.
Okay, that's fine. So risky
From Caltrops?
Yeah.
Standard effect, and I'm going to take 2 stress for a bonus die.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because I don't think. Well, actually, no. I can only use my special armor once a session, right?
Yeah, it's done now. You get it back and down.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just be like yelling and screaming for help. Oh, 3.
Oh, first. Okay, so that's 1 to 3.
Wait, did I not get a bonus die? I thought I hit a bonus for stress.
Do you have anything in skirmish?
No, I don't. So that would be the 1.
That's the
That's
1 die.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then, so I'm confused. All right, yeah.
So
never mind.
if you have 0 in something, you roll
Yeah.
2 dice and take the lowest. So then your
Gotcha.
bonus die is just rolling 1 die and taking it.
Right.
All
Which
right,
is
makes
much better odds, but you know.
That's all right.
Chris got a 6 when he did that. So you got a 3.
I got a broken rib, you know.
Boy, all right.
Let me just now I gotta check this out because
About to get my face busted in.
yeah, this is like not used. Okay. So sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry.
You're all right.
I had it. Okay, so it was risky, and you got a 1 to 3. So things go badly. You suffer harm. A complication occurs. You end up in a desperate position, or you lose this opportunity. You're not going to suffer harm. All right. Let's see. Okay. So this is what happens. All right. You take you're like, oh, screw the gun, and you grab the bust and you hurl it without really aiming at the guy who's teetering over. He actually is like he's like windmilling back, and just through his movements, you know, it was about to brain him right on the head, and he like his head whips to the side, and the marble bust like whizzes past him and bursts into shards against the wall itself, falling down onto the staircase. He immediately reacts to seeing that, and he makes a desperate lurch, using all of his strength to hurl himself up the rest of the stairs. Okay,
Gotcha.
And so he's like bodily on the ground, and as he hits the ground, his outstretched hands grab your ankles.
Oh shit! All right.
Okay, and he is going to pull with all of his strength, all of his, it's just his last just effort, and he's going to just wrench your ankles forward so that you topple backwards. All right, so that is the problem. Okay, so that is the complication that you're in. So now he's going to attempt to do basically. The point of that is that you are now in a desperate position.
Gotcha.
Okay, for anything that you end up doing from this point forward. Okay, so ankles around he's got his hands around your ankles right now. Okay, so let's go back here now. Clinch, as we cut away to Clinch, who is peering silently. His curtain.
Pulling a curtain aside, and the light falls on my face.
Yes, the light is emanating from a writhing spiritual form.
Oh, cool.
Which is in the midst of this dingy back room, the shelves of which are lined with multiple objects of the same nature, which you immediately identify as spirit anchors. You have actually seen these things in your criminal activities since you've been to Duskfall. They're basically, the way that I'm picturing them are sort of more Victorian version of the Ghostbuster traps.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Except that they, you know, so they sort of open up and emanate an electroplasmic trap, and which basically roots the ghost down, but doesn't actually suck it in like it does in Ghostbusters.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just sort of opens up, and they are kind of trapped in this electroplasmic storm. Right, and that is what's occurred here. Is that there appears to be one that is open and has entrapped a ghost, and that is writhing around. You can see that there are the remnants of some food that was eaten here. There's a piss bucket back here as well. It stinks pretty badly. Now, in the far end of the room, there appears to be a open manhole, like a sewer grate of some sort. The cover has been lifted off, and there is access to what appears to be a hole in the ground. I'm sorry. Let me retcon that a bit. There is it's actually a hole on the back wall itself.
Okay.
Like a round pipe
We're underground. Okay.
enters, because you were actually underground. So
Yeah.
and it goes back beyond that.
It's like the Chamber of Secrets.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so there's an angry ghost in the middle of the room.
Yes, and it is now that as you step through the curtain, you kind of come out of your silence cone.
Yeah.
As you kind of peer through, and the noise of this screaming ghost assails you, basically. Just like,
And it's stuck to the floor, right?
it's stuck to the it's stuck in the anchor.
It's in a ghost anchor.
Yes, so it's sort of like reaching forward towards you, and but it can't get to you. It's sort of like a straining dog on a leash. It's like,
Okay, and it's reaching for me to like it would do violence to me if I got close to it.
yeah, you know, I mean, because you live in this world, that its primary thing is to possess you.
Okay, that's what ghosts do. And there are all of these other
Anchors.
around me.
Yes. Well, in front of you on shelves.
Okay.
How many?
How many anchors? Difficult to tell. A lot. A big supply.
It's a stone floor, right?
There's a couple dozen at least. Stone floor, yes.
Okay. What are arcane implements?
Arcane implements are just they can be. I think that description has like bottle of quicksilver, some coal, some sand, some candles. You know, like a material component pouch, sort of like in
Got it.
D&D.
Got it. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out exactly what I have to deal with this.
The doctor's probably thinking to himself, "A whisper would be nice right here."
Yeah, exactly.
Can the ghost?
What I want? Okay, so in the front, can I go back to the front of the shop?
Yeah.
And are there like the silk? Are they on like wooden spools or something?
Yeah, some of them are. Yeah, some of them are draped.
So I want to grab a wooden spool, and then I want to I drag it behind me, and I go back into the back room, and like a golf club, I hit the spirit trap that it's attached to.
Yeah.
And try to fling it through the hole on the back wall.
Awesome. All right, so golfing. All right.
I'm trying to golf the anchor through the back wall while the spirit's attached to it.
All right.
That's my.
That's amazing. So what action are we taking for that one?
Is finesse, or I think that's finesse.
Well,
it reads more like finesse than wreck to me, but
yeah, I suppose so. You got to kind of do it gracefully, or else it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it has to be very precise. It can't be, Okay. Yeah. I'll buy it. Okay.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to say that it's risky. It'll have a standard effect.
Okay.
But I'm going to offer you a devil's bargain.
Oh yeah.
Don't take it. You'll end up with
cracked ribs.
Bad.
Devil's bargain is that the way that you hit the anchor will destroy it. It will be unsellable.
How many other anchors are in here?
appears to be dozens.
Yeah.
Like, what's one anchor?
Yeah, what's one anchor?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
No.
If it breaks,
Yeah, that's actually what you got to do.
Oh.
You know what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If it breaks, the ghost will get free.
The ghost will get free, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds more devil's bargainy.
yeah, it does.
Right.
Yeah.
But then that would also defeat the purpose of...
That's the devil's bargain.
Well, but you will succeed, and the anchor and the ghost will be in that hole before it's freed. So if you want to, if that's the position you want that in, then...
Right. Well, no, the whole thing is I want the ghost still attached to the anchor so I can get these other anchors and we can start...
Leaving.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Well, that's the devil's bargain on the table. You don't have to take it. You guys can also offer a bargain as well if you have something that you think might work.
Well, now I'm also wondering, though, if it seems like going out through this hole is what we want to do, because I don't want to be carrying dozens of traps back out through the mob. So I don't know if I... Crap.
Question, if I could, John. About how long does it take a ghost to possess someone?
It doesn't take long at all.
And are they immediately possessed, or are they temporarily incapacitated, or...
No, they're immediately possessed.
And the ghost is in control next round kind of thing, and
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Okay.
How do people normally deal with ghosts? Is the wait a minute. I have something called a Spirit Bane charm that I can whip out.
Yeah.
What does that do?
That gives you potency against ghosts. So any sort of hostile action that a spirit or ghost would take against you, you would have potency. So it would actually increase your effect. Or
all right, I'm going to whack the thing with the club. Yes, Ted.
I have a possible flashback. Since we are purveyors of spirit bottles,
right,
and we are aware that we are up against someone who is purveying in a similar material, I think it's entirely reasonable that you remembered to pack a spirit bottle.
Yeah, what's the process look like for getting a ghost from an anchor into a bottle?
That's something for us to discuss, I think.
That is beyond your ken.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you deal in the items themselves. You have. I mean, it takes a whisper or a whisper's abilities to understand how to do that. Now, you could certainly try, but you can already kind of assess like what I'm going to be giving you for that one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, remember, it's just a devil's bargain. It's only one die. So, I mean, your original plan of just kicking the anchor back to the back of the wall is, perfectly
right.
doable.
Although my whole issue is that I don't know that I want the ghost back there any more than I want it right here.
Right.
Okay. I believe it is also common in textile purveyors to rack up their fabric quite high sometimes, and they often need a large hook to get that stuff off the top shelf.
Sure. Okay. I mean, oh man, I was really into my cool golfing ghost golf.
I like it. I love it. I love it.
The golf
I'm down with that.
is great up until you thought maybe I want to be in that hole.
Right. That's the that hallway is where I want to go with the
quite
goods.
possibly.
Quite possibly. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and find a long hook. Is that?
Yeah, sure. Ted's right. There's plenty of them. Well,
and I'm gonna
like two.
Hook the anchor.
Yeah.
Like a bad actor being dragged off stage left.
Actually, no. You know what?
Yeah.
For now, I'm gonna club it into the next thing because that's where it's gonna end up for now anyway. I'm only gonna hook it into the sewer, and this is cooler.
So you're gonna club it. You're gonna
club it into the hole in the back of the room.
Okay. All right.
So I think that's finesse.
And what are you using again? I'm sorry for doing this.
I think finesse.
No, I mean like what tool?
Oh, a wooden
spool.
The spool. That's right. The spool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah.
So
Okay, yeah. So what did I say? Risky standard, right?
And the devil's bargain is that it would just shatter the damn thing
It would shatter it and loose the ghost.
and loose the ghost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, let's do it.
But
Loose
the ghost
the
would
ghost.
either be in the sewer or
Nope.
in the
Yeah.
depending on.
Well, maybe-
So you're clear. The devil's
Let's-
bargain happens regardless of whether or not.
Yeah, I
you're
got
successful.
it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I might not be aware that it's going to loose the ghost in character, but it'll loose the ghost, and then we'll figure it out from there. But
Okay,
at least the
so-
ghost won't be stationary and in the way anymore.
Let's
just-
see the result of this
try to
die, and
possess
then
it.
we'll take a quick break. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
All right, so I am finessing this ghost through a hole.
That's what she
What
said.
am I? Is this a controlled situation?
Is this a what? No, it's
position?
risky standard.
risky standard. Okay.
Yep.
Effect standard. Bonus dice 1. I can't stress myself to get another one, can I?
Where are you getting the bonus die from?
From the
Oh,
devil's
Devil's
bargain.
Bargain.
I'm sorry, my fault. No, you take the devil's bargain, or you can push yourself.
Okay, you get 1 bonus die max.
Yes.
Kind of
Oh, nice. All right, cool.
Ooh, lucky.
Okay, so
Ghost golf.
nice.
That's like a weird Super Nintendo game where they like Mega Man Soccer. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like reaching for you, and all of a sudden you just see it like it's like when it goes flying back as it as you can see and hear the spirit anchor actually like crumple like as it rockets back into the hole in the wall, and in slow mo, the electroplasmic light that is emanating from the anchor like winks out as the spool crumples the anchor and destroys it, and you see the spirit just kind of go spring as it releases out of the trap and hurls against the darkness within that hole, and it appears to be surprised as like all of like the menace and malice, and it appears to be a gentleman who is wearing tattered finery, like a waistcoat, but it's kind of ripped and torn, and like it appears to be elderly with like sort of like a bald pate, but like long wispy white hair. He's all white, various shades of white, of course, but as all of the menace and malice kind of like falls out of his face as he just kind of looks at himself back there, floating around, and then he kind of stares at you. And we'll take a quick break and see
I've set you free.
how exactly he reacts to you. All right. So let's give it like a 10-minute break or so, and we'll come back. Cool?
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.